Hello. Bank holiday Monday and I'm having a day off. I'm having a day off. So I've kept this video separate because it's sewing and not everybody likes sewing. So if you see the video and you think, wow, that's not for me, you don't have to watch it. So it's not part of my normal weekly video. I'm making a large origami bag for my friend in Scarborough. It's her birthday in May. So today I'm going to have fun locking myself in my little room. It's a little bit crowded in here at the moment because I've got stuff in here that needs to go in other places, but it can't until those rooms are finished. So I'm doing my best with the space I've got. Anyway, this is the bag. If you are interested in making one of these, you can follow me. I'm going to give all of the instructions so you don't have to go away and buy the pattern, because you really don't need to. It's so simple, but I've got it here. So this is 152 centimeters long and 52 centimeters wide. And then I've just got this little handle one, and that is 7 and hang on a minute. And then there's just a handle there that is 12 centimeters by 20 centimeters. This sheet, you can use anything for a lining really. This is an old quilt cover for a single bed. Now I don't have a single bed anymore, so rather than go out and buy lining for the bag, I just thought I'd use this. Now I'm making two bags. I'm doing a dummy run and then I'm doing one for my friend. So this duvet cover, I've kept it as it is so that I can cut two. So I'm going to do that first, cut out the two, and then we'll go from there. There we go. That's one of them. I've got another piece cut out there. So cut them as double as the duvet. You don't need one for the handle. You only need the actual fabric for the handle. So I'm going to get my dummy test fabric out. You see I've been walking the dog. You've been jumped all over. Get out my test fabric and we'll pin that to this and cut that out. And hopefully this will all go to plan. Okay, so I've cut out two out. It was the duvet cover, so there's two of these. This is one of them. Put the other one to one side. So I'm going to get my fabric out for the dummy run, pin it to this and start my bag. You don't need, for the handle, you don't need any lining. It is just the main fabric, so I'll do that separate. £3.50, I'm pretty sure, for a pair of curtains from a charity shop. Now obviously these aren't the length that I need, but I've got a pair. So as I pin it to them, because it is a dummy run, I'm going to stitch these curtains together so that I've got enough fabric for one strip. So it is going to be a little bit of a scraggy one, this one, but I'd rather do a dummy run first and get it right than ruin the really nice fabric for my friend's bag. Now the grain line it shows on the pattern goes in one way. I mean, it's a rectangular, so it doesn't matter which way it goes in terms of that, but basically it means you're following the grain line lengthways, not that way. Grain line would normally, on a reel of fabric, you would go by the selvage on the edge, and then your grain line would follow that lengthways. The issue I'll have here is making sure, because I haven't made it before and it's an origami bag, making sure that, because I will use this, I'll use it as when I go out with the dog, just be a scraggy dog bag. I don't want these lamps to be upside down though. I mean, it won't matter too much, but it's just when I do this dummy run, it'll give me an idea of where the pattern falls. So again, when I come to use my really nice fabric, I can position where I want the patterns a little bit better, because I'll know from making this up. Just cut those bits off, just make it easier for me. I'll spread these out. See how we get on. You know, most sewing programs that I watch on YouTube, they have a beautiful sewing studio. Well, this will be beautiful when it's all done and finished, when I've got everything as it should be. Right, it's upside down. Yeah, so I've got enough fabric. That's good news. I'm just going to stitch these two together, and then I can pin them to the lining. Now what I want to try and do is match the patterns as best I can if I pin them right. So if you see on here, I'm just going to try my best to pin them so that I match the pattern as much as I can do, so it does look at least tidy. See how I get on with that. It's not bad. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. Some of the fabric has stretched, so it's not matching up exact, but it's enough. It's enough to be okay for a bag. Right, I can get this pinned to the lining now. Oh, look at that. I've got enough for two. I have enough for 2 bags. I'll see how they turn out. I might, if they're any good, I might do one as a giveaway if anybody wants one. Right, just realised. Right sides together. Now it doesn't matter about the lining because it's just plain, but I need the fabric to attach to the lining on its right side, because we're going to bag it, which basically means stitch it and then turn it inside out, so that all the stitching's on the inside, the hems are on the inside. I know what I mean. Now there's a hem allowance on this one, which should have mentioned already. There's a hem allowance included of 1 centimetre. So if you're somebody who likes 1.5 centimetres, you have to bear that in mind. It only allows for 1 centimetre. Obviously I've got enough fabric left for the handle, plenty there for 2 handles if I'm going to do 2 bags. Won't be today that I do 2, because I've got to get my friends done. But I'll get this cut out. Next bit, so it's all cut out and pinned. I'm going to stitch 1 centimetre all the way around, but at the top edge I'm going to leave about 10 centimetres there, and that's so that I've got room to turn it in back the right way around. Right, that's done stitched all the way around, and I've left a gap there to bag it out, turn it inside out, or the right way around rather. So I'm just going to snip these corners so that they're a bit tidier. Can't do it one-handed. I'm going to just snip it across just to thin it out a little bit. Like that. Do that with all the corners. I'll probably trim a little bit of this off as well so it's less bulky around here. And then I'm going to press it and turn it inside out, right way round. I've got this neat little pointy tool that just helps me to poke out the corners so they're nice and neat. I never thought really, having enough material, I could have made the lining the same as this, so it would have just been the same, but it's quite like the idea of making 2 bags, getting 2 bags out of it. And I've made good use of an old duvet. Just found the other corner somewhere. Here we go. I'm fairly gentle with it. I did this once. It was a bit rough and I went straight through the fabric. There we go. Alright, to the ironing board. I've ironed it lovely and flat. And the bit where the gap was, so that I could bag it out. Just need to trim those bits. I've ironed the flaps down, the seam allowance down inside. So the next step is I'm going to top stitch all the way around, and the top stitch is 3 mils, so it's very, very near the edge. So I'm going to have to go really slow just to make sure it's a real nice tidy finish. I'm just thinking for the top stitch, I'm sorry I'm such a mess, but it is my day off. Just thinking top stitch, I might change the white cotton and go for something, if I got something funky that'll go with that, that might look striking, do you think? Or shall I just stay boring? I'll have a look what colours I've got. I'm not actually sure if you're going to see much of it, but I think it'd be a nice detail. I've got to change my cotton anyway because the white's run out. What else have I got? Oh no. Nah. That might be interesting. That might work. That's boring. Won't see that. Or I could go with a black. I've got black, obviously. Black might stand out. I think that, oh no then, that one maybe. That'd stand out as well. Don't know. Nope. I'll have a think. I need a coffee anyway. I'm going with that one. I don't have any bobbins made up, so I'll have to make, I've got one there, spare one, I'll have to make up a bobbin. top stitching is done all the way around now, so that's all done and ready. It's almost like a table runner. The fun starts now. Origami. Let's start the origami. So, as I've never made this bag before, obviously, I don't even know if this top stitching matters, but we'll soon find out. So what I've done from the strip, you fold a third in and then pin along the bottom here, and then we're going to fold, well, what we're going to do is pull that out, fold this across and pin it across the top, across there, like that. Oops. And that. You can kind of now see how it's going to go, almost like a triangle. Do you a different way and you'll see it properly. Now you can see a little bit now how it's going to go as a bag, become a bag. Now, just to make a point, I've turned it the other way. It's still only pinned, get to stitch, but with a pattern I was thinking, how do I make sure that the pattern is in the right order? But when you do this basically origami bag, you can see that some of the lamps are the right way up and some of them are going to be not so much. But that's okay for the bag that it is. But it was just to make a point to bear in mind, if you've got a pattern with this particular design, it does look like you'll have that side going down and that side going up. Right, I've stitched these now. So that's, you just see that thin line, that's the original top stitching I did, and this is the new stitching. I'm not even sure if it matters with this colour that I've used, but I've used it anyway, so it don't matter. We'll soon find out when we finish it. Okay, so I'm going to turn this the way that I need it and then show you what's going to happen next. This particular seam here, if you want it really flat and tidy, then you can stitch it down, and I'll probably do that on my friend's bag. On this one I'm not too bothered, it's just going to be a scruffy bag, so I'm going to skip that step, and I'm happy with this as it is on the inside, so I'm going to leave that. But that's just a point. When I come to the next bag, I'll probably stitch this down and keep it nice and flat, and that would be the same on that side as well, stitching it flat. Now you can also decide at this point whether you want these pointy sides, these sides, to be pointed when you turn it, which means leave them as they are when you turn the bag the right way, or if you want it to like have a gusset. If you want a gusset, then you're going to be stitching across here, so you'd have like a flatter look on the outside. And again, on this one I'm going to keep it pointed, see how it looks, and on my friend's version it's a big soft fabric, so I might see how that looks and probably maybe do a softer look and just stitch across there and create less of a point on the outside when you turn it inside out. So you can probably see how it's coming together now. So like I said, I've kept the pointy ones. If I'd have gusseted it, then that would be a softer, rounder edge there and there as well. So it's time to do the handle. Here we go. Basically, I've created a 1 centimetre hem on either side of the short sides, and that's just by folding it over once and then twice again and then pinning it. And I'm going to top stitch it on this side, and it'll be again very thin 3mm top stitch across there and there. Next bit, this way up, and we're going to put this in half, right side up, like this. And at this point, it's a good idea to check it on the bag to see how tight you want it. So if you want it fairly tight, you might do a slightly more seam allowance than the 1 centimetre. You know, if you don't want it to move around too much. I'm going to try mine and see what I think, and I'll get back to you on that. I was happy with 1 centimetre, it worked just fine. So I'm going to thread this through here, pull it through the other end, and then it's going to meet this corner. I'm going to pin those together and do a little square stitch to fix these corners together like that, and then this handle will cover them. There's a handle on, nearly there. Square stitch, stitch those together nice and firm, and then this handle will literally just pull across to cover that bit in the middle. And then we've got a bag, people, we've got a bag. Now I've overlapped this by 3 centimetres, so they're literally kissing each other by 3 centimetres, and then the square will go into the corner like that. So I'm going to stitch that way. Not the tidiest of jobs, but it's done the trick. Okay, who wants to see the bag? That's my finished bag. Pong! Japanese origami bag. Obviously you can make these in all different sizes. I've put all Willow's doggy stuff in it. I think it's kind of cute. It is, it's sweet. Anyway, yeah, if you wanted to do a smaller size, you just reduce the ratio of the fabric. What do you think? Do you like it, Willow? Are you impressed? Do you think Mummy's really talented?